I'm talking quietly because there are people here and I'm shy. I see you. I am you. Oh, this is gonna be hell to edit, honestly. Because I don't want to pull that up right now, if I'm being completely honest. Today I've got a peach iced tea from Korea. We went to an Asian food market, something fun. I get that not everybody loves peaches, but I do. Welcome. I'm Jenny, I'm one half of Gen Squared, and we are hobby authors. I just did a 30-day writing challenge. We named it the J2June challenge. We're going to do it every year. I think we're going to do it a little bit differently every year, but basically for 30 days, I wrote and I shared it here on YouTube on Shorts. For those very, very few of you who joined me and cheered me on throughout that challenge, I want to say thank you. Thank you very much. All of your engagement is very, very much appreciated. But now that it's over, let's talk about the things that I expected to happen, the things I didn't expect to happen, but also, most importantly, the stats. I love data. And yes, that's how I say data. I'm not going to change for no one. Let's start with the caveat here. The funny story. I didn't know that Camp NaNo existed. When I saw Camp NaNo on YouTube, I never really clicked on an actual video to see what it was all about. I thought it was like you're camping during Nano, or like you just have those like cottagecore vibes during Nano, which I've done. I thought you were at a cottage during Nano. That's what I thought it was. It's a 30-day writing challenge, much like the one I just completed, actually, and they do it twice, in April and in July. Anyway, not to reinvent the wheel, I did ask ChatGPT if there were any writing challenges, but I asked if there were any writing challenges in June, because I didn't want to add more to the pile. But if we're being honest, June, it's 6 months away from Nano, from November. It makes more sense to me. 6 months to prep, 30 days to write, 6 months to prep, 30 days to write, or whatever you do in the 6 months. In any case, I still love what we did. It's the same as Camp NaNo. We're just calling it something different. And we'll spice it up in the future. We're going to keep doing it, even though this was kind of a flop. But it's okay. It's okay. It was still worth it, and I'll tell you why. Let's start off strong with the most interesting and the most important thing, the statistics, the data. So let's do a deeper dive on the numbers here. I'm going to clip this instead of holding it, but it's just, for some reason, I don't know what it is, but holding it is just so much better for me. We're going to look at my word count tracker together. Also, I got sick. I feel like that usually happens after you kind of stress yourself out for 30 days. I didn't get sick during the 30 days. It's July and I have a cold. Yay me. So this is the tracker that I use to calculate my word count over time. Because I didn't have a per day or per month goal for this particular writing challenge, I didn't make my graph a pie chart like I did in my NaNoWriMo tracker, which I'll show you now. So instead, what I wanted to know was what my word count looked like per week. So then that way it would serve as a miniature motivator to see, okay, can I beat the week before? That didn't end up working out like that, but I can see how it would in the future, but I'll explain why in a minute. Also, let's be honest, we're not really counting week 5 here because it's only 2 days if you see in the table. Let's kind of go over the statistics. So we obviously have the word count. The final word count of the challenge was 27,476 words, which is really, really great for not having a goal and for writing every day, or almost every day. We had 2 0 days on the 11th and the 27th, which is really not bad. I thought it was going to be a lot more than that. And I've highlighted the highest week, obviously, kind of looks like a middle finger, was week 3, which subsequently had the best average as well. And then you have the best day was actually the 30th, which I kind of also expected. In my NaNoWriMo word count tracker, the last week also had my best word count, so I kind of anticipated it would be the same. Oops. I'm the type of person that does really well with a deadline, so it being the last day, you just want to get in as much as you can at the end. I don't know if that's the same for everybody, but that's the same for me. A pattern with me. Anyways, this is a fun way to track weekly, and then also, oh no, and then also you can track by word count goal. My word count goal in NaNoWriMo 2023 was 100,000 words. I knew I wasn't going to hit it, but 63 is pretty good too. So the month total, oh, are you calculating correctly? Month total was 2,476. The weekly average was 5,000 words, 495. Daily average was 915 words, which is not bad at all. You might be wondering why I'm doing averages. It's to do fun predictions in the future. I only have 2 sets of 30-day writing challenges currently tracked, but one day I can kind of see what my averages are looking like week to week, and then I can kind of predict how well I'll do in the 30-day writing challenge that I'm in the middle of in the future. Useless information really, but it's almost as fun as like pretending that you're gonna win the lottery even though you don't play, and then saying all the things that you would do with all that money, all the things I would do with all those words, you know? What would I do with all those words? Make a book. That's what. An interesting pattern that I have found in this writing tracker is that my word counts on the weekends are not necessarily as good as I anticipated they would be, which is funny because in NaNoWriMo 2023, I'm obviously a completely different person 2 years later, but almost 2 years later. But Saturdays were, not that one because it was my birthday, but almost my birthday. But Saturdays and Sundays ended up being the largest contributors to my word count in NaNoWriMo 2023. Obviously, I had a job then, I have a job now, but for whatever reason, I just had a lot to do on the weekends, and I didn't want to do the same thing that I did in NaNoWriMo 2023, which was me sitting down, writing for 3 hours, eating something, and then writing again for 3 hours, and just knocking words out of the park. And June weekends just laughed at me. We have to consider June versus November. A lot more people are coming out of their shells in spring. The gradual increase of sunshine and errands and social events ended up pulling me away from writing on the weekends, which is okay because I didn't have a strict goal going into the J2June challenge. Instead, I was just saying I was going to be consistent, I was going to write every day, and I was going to post about it, and I did that. And in general, I would call myself a night owl, which is fine. I'm not ashamed. I'm proud, actually. There's a lot of early birds in the world who think that they are better than the night owls, but let me tell you, we are invaluable, okay? I think night owls get a bad rap because all the early birds are thinking about how great they are. And you know what? I can stay up past 9 p.m. and that is a feat for you. You also can't stay asleep past 9 a.m., but that's besides the point. Anyways, that's a tangent. All I'm saying is I don't need daylight. I need daylight, but I don't need it to be productive and to function and to do cool things, including creative things. Pat on the back to the night owls. I see you. I am you. Maybe a little bit more night owl love. Are we moving away from the statistics here? What else do we have for statistics? This is my word count. I chose the same color palette, but you know, there are other things coming. I guess we're moving on to realizations here. One of them being that I was a night owl. We're done with statistics. Hope you enjoyed them. I know I did. I love tracking them. Okay, realizations. I write more at night. Camp NaNo is the same thing, but we're just gonna do it in June. And I proved myself that I can in fact film and write every single day for 30 days straight and post it and share it with you guys. Regardless of if anybody watches. And truly, honestly, like, I'm pretty proud of myself for being able to have a 9-to-5 and still manage all of the obligations of living plus filming myself and writing every night and sharing it. Because sharing and posting things, editing videos and things like that does take time, which probably also aid into my word count, but like, we're not going to look at it that way. I'm proud with the word count that I have. I didn't have a goal for a reason. This is the first time we're dipping our toes into the J2June challenge. So we're learning as we go, which is one of the best parts of living, in my opinion at least. So what's next for the J2June challenge? So in NaNoWriMo this year, 2025, Jen is going to be doing the shorts, where she's going to write every day and post a short. I'm going to do 10-day chunk vlogs. So on the 10th, 20th, and 30th of November, you'll get a vlog from me, and on every single day you'll get a short from Jen, so you'll keep up with our progress. What's next for J2, the J2June challenge, is the hope that this turns into a thing that people do. Obviously, it's fine if just Jen and I do it, but that's not totally the point. But in any case, it's something that we can shape. Maybe for you, 30 days straight feels like a little bit too much, or feels like impossible goal, like it's not realistic for you. Maybe you'd rather do themed writing sprints, or you want to tackle edits and have that be a function measured by not word count, but measured by like the percentage of your novel that you've edited. The whole point is we can make it whatever we want. We can make it different. I know Jen and I are going to try to change it up every year so that it's a little bit of a different theme, or a different goal, or a different way that we are attacking the J2June challenge. But if you have any input, we're more than happy to take it into consideration. If you're doing Camp NaNo, good luck. If you want to watch somebody do 30-day challenge, you can watch it by day. I will add the playlist at the end of this video. So when I went into this challenge, I started writing the scene cards for my third act of my first ever romance fantasy novel. I don't know why I always flip those. Fantasy romance novel. And I actually finished the scene cards day 17, which is wild because I've never actually written scene cards that quickly. So then day 18, I started writing my manuscript again. And from there, that's why week 3 was such a boost. As you can see, I ended up writing a lot after that, because it's going from scene cards and essentially prompting yourself for manuscript is so effective for me. My brain just takes the prompt and then sprints off into the distance. And so filling in all of the gaps from the scene card prompts and like the explanation of what's going on, it just really generated a lot. I find that writing manuscript ends up giving me a lot more words. That's not necessarily a good thing, because I write without looking backwards. I just write forwards, and then I make notes for myself if I have an idea that I know is not included earlier on in the book that I would like to include. In any case, I'm going to have a lot of editing to do, so I'm really excited for that part of the journey at this point. Jen and I are going to be filming a progress report, which will let you know how far I am and how many words are in my novel, in the manuscript of my novel, and like which story beat I'm on, because I don't want to pull that up right now, if I'm being completely honest. Just being truthful. Yeah, so that was the first ever J2June challenge. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, leave me a thumbs up. Maybe hit subscribe if you want to see it. If you want to see NaNoWriMo, that's going to be fun. But also, if you want to see the J2June challenge next year, you can hit subscribe and see what shenanigans we get up to until then. The chaos of hobby author living. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, and we'll talk soon. Bye!